Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing first of a few cube drafts that I plan on doing before Magic Origins drops. So I think I'm actually officially done with the Dragons of Tarkir drafts. Let me get onto this pack and maybe I'll have some time to talk more about it. Gristlebrand's a cool one. A lot of build-arounds, of course. Whisperwood is good. Bloodline Keeper is good. I mean, of course, Lightning Bolt's not the most exciting first pick, but you know how I feel about aggressive decks. Tamiyo's pretty good too. I mean, Gristlebrand's pretty tough to play. Definitely. You gotta cheat it out, but it's a good card to cheat out. Nothing else is like, I mean, Moat's a good, I guess Moat's a good, like, blue-white control sort of card. I feel like Gristlebrand's the most exciting one here, the one that's got the most potential upside. I guess we'll take it. I'm not going to marry it. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm done with Dragons of Tarkir. Thanks a lot for following all those draft videos. 73 drafts is just a ton of them. And I did really come to enjoy that format quite a bit. I started pretty poorly, actually, and grew to get pretty successful at it. I should mention I know nothing about this cube. I have not looked at the cube list at all, so I really have no idea what's contained within. Gaia's Cradle has got to be a pretty strong one. Definitely. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, Lingering Souls, Solemn's good. You can put it anywhere. You can always play Solemn, which is nice. Cradle feels like a pretty ridiculous power card, though. I mean, it doesn't work well with Gristlebrand, but there's like no black cards in here I care about. It's certainly not a res spell. The only thing that's really standing out to me is Solemn or Gaia's Cradle. I mean, Blightsteel Colossus is another big finisher. I think I'm going to take the Cradle. I feel like Cradle's pretty strong. We'll find out. All right, Crater of Behemoth. That's a good one with Gaia's Cradle. They both kind of work towards the same end. Gaia's Cradle wants you to play a bunch of creatures. Crater of Behemoth wants you to play a lot of creatures. That might be correct. There is Una's Prowler, which is a way to get Gristlebrand into your yard. I should also point out this is a Swiss cube, and that I'm not the best cube player, so this is going to be a learning experience for all of us, I assume. I kind of think I want to take this Crater of Behemoth. This card's awesome with Gaia's Cradle. Thoughtseize is good too. Thoughtseize is legit. Frantic Search is a Storm card, so perhaps this is a Storm format. Venser is a card I love, but I think I'm going to take the Crater Hoof. Okay, Hierarch's Ramp. That seems like a safe bet. It's a little more exciting than Ancient Tomb, since it also fixes for white and blue. Some more red deck burning. I'm fine taking Noble. Noble's a good card. Alright, Master of the Wild Hunt is pretty cool here, actually. It's green removal, which is very unusual, but it also works well with Gaia's Cradle and Craterhoof Behemoth, so it feels like a good card to nab here. Living Death is a way to bring back Gristlebrand, but I don't even know. Well, I guess, yeah, this is another way to do it. I'm still more interested in the Gaia's Cradle, Crater of Behemoth, Noble Hierarch plan at this point. Alright, Sakura Tribe Elder is fine. It's not exactly in line with Crater of Behemoth and Gaia's Cradle, but it's pretty close. Typically, ramp is more important than, and this also is potentially fixing, but ramp is more important than a lot of other things, I guess. A lot more important than just a standard creature. Ramp creature is nice versatility. Shrine of Burning Rage is pretty strong. I love the Flame Tongue Kavu. I'm going to take the Elder anyway. Okay, well, Genesis Wave is something to ramp into. Dismember might just be the pick, though, especially if I'm far down the green rabbit hole, which I am. Dismember is a pretty good one. Shallow Grave. Oh, so the order of your graveyard is going to be important. Shallow Grave, I mean, is a good thing to do with Gristlebrand. I think I want this Dismember, though. This is pretty good removal when in borderline mono green. Ooh, Deranged Hermit. That's a nice pickup here. I think this is a huge pickup for both Craterhoof and Gaia's Cradle, so it's definitely the direction I would like to go. I love Edric, though. Edric is powerhouse card in this deck as well, and Oracle is always good, but I think Hermit is just right in line with what I'm trying to do. Okay, Whisperwood. Once again, yet another card that's going to pair well with our Behemoth Cradle plan. I like it. Tabled Lightning Bolt's pretty surprising, but we'll take the Elemental. So, currently only have a couple ramp cards. I'm hoping, since we're so far down green, that we'll be able to find some more. At this point, Gristlebrand's seeming like a pretty difficult card to play, but that's okay. Moloku. This card is pretty cool as well with Gaia's Cradle and Craterhoof Behemoth. Stunted Growth's okay. I've had this pay off big. Against the control decks, you can really wreck with Stunted Growth on like turn 3 or something. I think I'll take Moloku. I like the idea of that. I'm also a big sucker for blue and cube. I grew to love it quite a bit. All right, Burning. This one, I feel like wrecks us pretty good. Well, I guess we're ramping. It's not that hardcore. It might be a tool that we could use. I think Fixing might be in order here, though. Neither of these cards fix for Gristlebrand or Moloku, but I think I'll take the Taiga regardless. Ancient Tomb seems like something I'm going to want. We already have some 4/5 drops, so let's face it. Dismember's a 1-drop. We'll take the Ancient Tomb. Necrotal's removal and all, but Ancient Tomb might be something we want. All right, I'll take the Grave Robber. Looks like red deck's open. All right, I think I want to hate Shrine of Burning Rage. I mean, well, I don't want to lose to Shrine, but then again, I mean, I guess a nice... Ooh, last pick Gen Wave, all right. But I guess the nice thing about being in green is usually have access to some good artifact and or enchantment removal. Okay, Findhorn... Jeez, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace is a pretty good one. Not a lot of things I would... Well, it's also a powered cube, too. Jeez. Guess I should have known that. It is a holiday cube. Well, Power 9 being here is interesting. I gotta take Jace. He's so powerful. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, Findhorn Elves. Hierarch actually fixes for Jace, too. Jace has to be in here. And Sakura Tribe Elder does, too. Yeah. Jace. Too good to pass. Treasure Cruise is actually interesting. Thragtusk is good. Tooth and Nail. Tooth and Nail's probably a pretty good one with Gristlebrand and Craterhoof Behemoth. It's not bad, actually. Costs you 9 mana, and we're short on ramp. There is no ramp to be had in here. I'm a big Thragtusk fan. Through the Breach is a way to get out Gristlebrand. Tooth and Nail sounds appealing right now. I kind of like how well that's going to play with Gaia's Cradle. Thragtusk is also... I'm going to take the Tooth and Nail. I have a decent feeling about that. Oof. Pastor Fellows. This card is great. It's just like exactly in line with what I'm looking for at the moment. Sword of War and Peace, granted. God, this is a crazy cube already. There's Power 9. There's swords. Jeez, I'm scared. And there's going to be Storm decks, I presume, as well. Don't expect me to do much in the Storm department. That causes me to scratch my head in confusion often. I've tried it and not been super successful. Punishing Fire. Oh, no. Are we going to have to worry about, what is it, the Grove or whatever, the land where it makes your opponent gain life? That's worrisome. We'll take Raphaelos. I think that's a pretty easy pickup. Well, there's Channel. Channel's pretty strong. There's a Yawgmoth's Will. That's combo card as well. There's a counter spell. Potentially in blue. Likely in blue. Fact or Fiction's good card advantage. I might just want counter spell. I feel like we're pretty much green-blue at this point. Staff of Domination. Gain a life, untap a creature, tap a creature, draw a card. It's a lot of different price tags on there. Channel's pretty good. We don't have a ton of... I mean, there's always... Yeah, I guess Genwave's actually a pretty good one for Channel. I'm going to take Counterspell. Counterspells are very powerful in this format. I think I've mentioned that already, but... To reiterate, wow, Dragonlord Tarka is good. Cool Pictured Disenchant. Metamorph is very good, especially since we've already verified there are swords in this format. I typically like Compulsive when I'm ramping. We seem to have more high-end than ramp at the moment, though, which could definitely prove to be an issue. Smokestack tends to be pretty good in decks like this, too, I imagine. Because we're going to have a lot of land that we've ramped into. Presumably they have less. I think it's Metamorph versus Research here. We have Jace for card draw, but that's it. I guess I'll take Research. I think Metamorph's good too. I'm not sure on that. Wow. There's our green-blue. Deathrite Shaman's actually probably good in this format. I think we got to take Primetime. Some good ramp, and it finds Gaia's Cradle, which is pretty insane. Goyf is one of those cards that's bonkers and constructed. Not that amazing and limited. Kiora, definitely a good card. One in which I wouldn't mind having, but I think Primetime is just, like I said, a little bit too good to pass up here. Okay, wow, I love me Avenger Zendikar, but the problem is we have all this high end and no low end, so I think I got to take Sylvan Caryatid, which actually is very good for this deck since it fixes for blue to get that turn 3 Jace, as well as the Hierarch and Elder helping us with that. I do love Avenger of Zendikar. The card is phenomenal with Craterhoof and Gaia's Cradle. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I feel like it's worthy of mentioning at this juncture especially. But I think Sylvan Caryatid is, like I said, just a little bit too much of what our deck needs to pass. Arbor Elf is actually fine. We still need more ramp. I feel like we don't have enough ramp. Okay. Breeding Pool is pretty good since it functions as both a forest and an island for Raphellos. I can untap it with Arbor Elf for double blue. It seems like something I'm going to want. Granted, Fenhorn Elves is good too, but I think we're going to be able to make our deck without it, so I'm going to take the Breeding Pool for some fixing. Okay, Thragtusk is usually good, especially when you're playing against like a red deck wins. I'm going to hate the combo-ish Punishing Fire. I don't know how good Turnabout is besides in combo. It doesn't strike me as something that's too insane otherwise. Well, we table Channel. I mean, otherwise it's like Duplicant, which is green removal, granted, but I guess I'll take Channel if you're going to give me Channel. Forge Master can be good. I doubt I'm going to play Life from the Loam or Seething Song. I mean, I'm not going to play Forge Master either, really, but I feel like there's some artifact deck that would want to do something with this. I don't know. So far, I mean, we're on a good path. I think Gristlebrand's likely to not happen since it only really works off of 11 costing Genesis Wave or Tooth and Nail. Awakening Zone is probably good enough for this deck. Deceiver Exarch is... I'm glad to see that last. That means somebody is not doing Splinter Twin. I don't think we're likely to play it, even though, you know, it's technically on color. Hey, open a Mox. On color Mox. Can't think of much of anything that I would take over an on color Mox. You can actually play a Mox over a land, too, which is really nice. Grim Monolith would be nice. Glenelendra Archmage. I've got a soft spot for her. She's always been phenomenal. Regrowth, not terribly exciting. Mazavith is cool land removal. Another good Primeval Titan target. Garruk is a very good one. This card's played a lot better than I first thought it was going to. And Sword of Light and Shadow, of course. Sword is good. We're going to take the Mox. And I'm just going to play it as a land. Okay, Karakas is... Wow, Gurmag Angler made the cut, huh? That's cool. Battlesphere is typically very good. Birthing Pod, we don't have the best chain until late, so I don't think that's going to work. Vendilion Click is quite good. I've already got quite a few more double blue than I feel comfortable with. Karakas, don't have that many legends besides like Gristlebrand. And Raphelos, I guess it's a cool way to protect Raphelos. And I guess Maloku. We have the legends actually to support it, but it's not really what I'm looking for. Beast Within is a nice catch-all. I'll give it that. I might just want the Battlesphere. It's more late game, though. Vendilion Click's a great card. This just doesn't strike me as the deck that wants it. Guess we'll take the Battlesphere. It's a great card. Ooh, Natural Order is a very powerful card. I'm very happily going to pick that up. I think Winter Orb would be actually very powerful for this deck, too, with all the creature ramp we have. But, yeah, Natural Order is just pretty much exactly in line with what I'm looking for with this deck, especially with Craterhoof Behemoth. And even Primetime, Thragtusk, Whisperwood, Deranged. We've got the green goods to support Natural Order, so I think we will. I'm trying to think how many lands I play with this deck. Since I've got all this ramp, I might not have enough to do less than 17 still. We'll see. Garruk, this is one of my favorite Garruks. There's an Elves of Deep Shadows. Tangle Wire is also a pretty good one. It's a nice way to disable your opponent. I think we'll take the Garruk, though. Garruk's pretty good. More ramp. I'm getting less attracted to Channel, but there might be, like, maybe Genesis Wave goes. Yeah, we're ramping a lot, but we've just got better stuff to do. I think Wolf or Silverheart's probably not that exciting. I'd rather do Thragtusk. It's a little bit more protection against aggressive decks. I guess Gristlebrand, likely not to make the cut either. Just Tooth and Nail. Primal Command's a pretty awesome card. New Narsit's nice. Wait, only Narsit, I guess, huh? Scavenging Ooze is good. I guess we're going to take Primal Command. There is Phantasmal Image as well, which is good. But Primal Command's a great card. I love this card. It's just tutor effects. Very powerful in this format. I'm trying to think what the least exciting card we have now is. Yeah, I guess Gristlebrand gets the boot. Take the Primal Command. Alright, Trigon Predator, potentially very good. Wooded Foothills, however, does find our breeding pool, so I think that's going to get the go-ahead, especially since we already have a deck. Geez, more combo stuff. I'm getting scared of the combo already in this format. Predator is very good. Treetop Village would also be good. Wooded Foothills, like I said, finds breeding pool, though, so I think that's got to get the pick here. Wish I had the Volcanic Island as well, then it would be even better for us. If we already found a breeding pool, it would be able to find island or forest, but that's okay. Chrome Mox. This might not be a Chrome Mox deck. It is ramp, though. We're currently only at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sort of, 7, sort of. You know, we're actually still a little bit ramp light. Not like super ramp light, but I'm actually not convinced Channel's good enough for this deck. It really only helps with, like, the Battlesphere, I would say. I think Channel probably gets the boot. Chrome Mox, we probably count as Another land card? Maybe? Maybe not. I'll take it anyway. Wall of Roots, there's some definite ramp. Here's a Simic Signet as well. I think we want to stick to our creature ramp for the most part. I mean, granted, Chrome Mox and Mox Sapphire don't really do that, but that's okay. We'll do the Wall of Roots anyway. I may just want the Mazavith. There is Song of the Dryads. This card tends to be a little bit unexciting. Mazavith, however, is just nice way to protect you against bomb creature. It's not insane, but like I said originally, I like that you can search it up with Primeval Titan. It does take up a land slot that would otherwise be nice for your green manas for Raphelos, but I think I'll accept it regardless. Beast Within Catch-All, I think I want this, at least for the sideboard. I'm not even convinced Tooth and Nail's quite going to make this deck. Winter Orb. I may just want to main deck this, actually. This can be insane in a deck that's got a bunch of ramp. Now I'm tempted to just boot the Awakening Zone. I'm not convinced this is quick enough ramp. It is. That does pair pretty well with... Oh, did I take it? Okay, good. I got worried there for a sec. I may just want the Elves of Deep Shadows. Tangle Wire could also, like I said, work well here. Ravages of War going this late is surprising. Firestorm's good against us. I'll take the extra ramp. I may want it. Zurin Orb against red deck wins? Maybe. Maybe. Imperial Recruiter tends to be good, especially for like combo decks that need to find something, but various other decks as well. I like where we're at. I think we're going to be able to make something good. I definitely think we ended up in a nice rampy archetype, which is good, and we got a Mox to boot, so very nice there. I do have to run at least an appropriate number of forests for Raphelos, or I think that could cause some issues. I think I'm likely not going to run too many blue mana. We already have to make at least one cut. 17 lands with this much ramp may be a mistake. I may be able to get away with just 16. Although our curve is a little bit higher, but keep in mind all the free mana we have. We have Chrome Mox, which is kind of free mana. Mox Sapphire, which is definitely free mana. Mazavith, which isn't mana at all, so I guess maybe I don't main deck Mazavith, actually. Mazavith seems like a good sideboard option. Because there's going to be matches where Mazavith is just practically worthless. Like, against red deck wins, it's not going to be enough to win you the game. Just to stop, like, you know, one little 2-2 beater. But against the deck that's got, like, the huge, like... I don't even know. I guess against Iona I lose anyway, but I was going to say Iona, but it's just something huge. It's nice against that. But since it doesn't add mana, and I do want to have a lot of forests, and I probably only want to run like 16 lands with all this ramp, because we did end up with, how much ramp in the end? 7 or 8? 7, I guess 8 if you count the Garrick, which is actually a lot. Awakening Zone, do I want it in this deck? I mean, that is a legitimate question. Tooth and Nail currently is going to find... Well, I can pay 7 mana to bust out like a Crater Hoof and a Mere Battle Sphere, but it doesn't give all your creatures haste. I can put out any creatures with it. For 9 mana, I can find 2 creatures and put them on the battlefield, though, which is... I feel like we can realistically get to 9 mana with this deck without too many issues. Natural Order has some pretty good targets to find. I feel like the Compulsive is going to be good since we've got all this ramp. I think I want to keep Dismember around. It's nice to have at least a little bit of removal. We have a lot of 5-drops, granted. Whisperwood's pretty insane, though. Whisperwood being... I actually like Whisperwood a lot. The fact that it's board wipe protection, I think makes it really powerful. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do Channel. I don't think I'm going to main deck Beast Within. I'm debating Awakening Zone, but it might actually still be too slow. I might be okay with this and 16 lands. Because at that point, 16 lands, 19, like 23, almost, like more than half of our deck is directly related to ramping at that point. And I guess it's kind of a lie. It's if we're running these as land cards, essentially, we're only going to have 14 lands. Then Gaia's Cradle, and I'm going to want an appropriate number of forests. There's no reason to run Taiga. Wooded Foothills I definitely want to run. Ancient Tomb is debatable now, because this leaves me space for only 10 lands, and I need an appropriate number of forests. So I think the Ancient Tomb actually is going to get the boot. This counts as a forest still. So this is 2 forests already. If I run 8 more forests, no black. This is 5 blue and 10 green. That might be appropriate. Actually, 6 blue with the Mox. So 5, 6, 7 blue. Well, not 7 blue. You really can't count Chrome Mox when we only have 4 blue cards. So Chrome Mox is only going to ramp for green, which I think it's still okay. I don't have to do Chrome Mox, I guess. I do like that it can get me to my 5 drops a turn earlier, potentially. This is 6 blue. 6 blue is more than enough. And 10 forest should be enough for Rafellos to do all that we need him to do. Am I comfortable with this? I might be. Chrome Mox also kind of works well with Winter Orb, doesn't it? And so does the Mox. All right. I guess I'm going to run it like this. So I know it's only 14 lands, but keep in mind it's 16 with the Chrome Mox and the Mox Sapphire. And we've just got all of these green ramp cards as well. This deck's interesting. This deck is very, very interesting. I'm trying to think what I'm going to find most often with Natural Order. It's actually tough to know for sure. What's interesting about Moloku is you can tap Gaia's Cradle, get a ridiculous amount of mana, return it with Moloku, play it again, and get a ridiculous amount of mana. So that's kind of a nice little piece of synergy. But Moloku's a good card. Definitely a good card. It gives you a fleet of flyers as well, which can be very good. Does this work on yeah, it's non-token, so I guess it doesn't work with Moloku so well, or Deranged Hermit, but it works well with your standard ramp creatures. All right, I don't know what to say, I guess. I think I'm comfortable running it like this. I think this is about as good as I can make it, I believe. We'll find out, though, huh? I think Winter Orb also probably works really well with Gaia's Cradle, too. Untap 1 card. Well, don't mind if I untap the card that gives me tons of mana. All right, we'll see how this deck runs. I guess I'm going to run it like this. We'll see you round 1.